What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Infinity Soccer Podcast. This is episode 2. Episode 1 was thoughts on the Champions League. You guys can go check that out if you'd like to. Now, today's topic will be on international teams, mainly about teams that played in the World Cup and some that have been eliminated, of course. It was very sad to see some of our star players who, on their international team, were not able to qualify for the World Cup in 2022. But it's okay. We'll be talking about them. I bet that literally every single player that you know might be mentioned here. Most likely will be mentioned. Maybe not every single player, of course, but every star player will most likely be mentioned here about their nation and if they qualified for the World Cup and how they did in the World Cup. We'll be talking a lot about the World Cup, mainly only because the World Cup was a great competition where we saw two great stars, including Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi, battle against each other, along with other countries battling against these really good players on really good teams. So, without further ado, I am your host, Infinity Champ Bro, also known as Infinity CB or ICB, and then we also have my assistant here, Philson. Say hi, Philson. Hi. Okay, so of course, I will be talking to Philson. We will be giving our takes on these certain teams and players, how they did, if they're worthy of doing that good in the World Cup or even getting qualified in the World Cup. So, without further ado, let's get started. Right now, we're going to be talking about the GOAT teams, including Portugal and Argentina. As you know, Portugal does have a star striker, five-time Ballon d'Or winner, Cristiano Ronaldo, while Argentina has recently 8-time Ballon d'Or winner, Lionel Messi. Now, they're both really good players, but let's talk about these teams without the GOATs. Now, I'm not talking about what happens if these GOATs randomly retired, disappeared, passed away. Hopefully this doesn't happen, but if basically the players, not including Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. So, first of all, we're going to talk about Portugal. So, Philson, who do you think could be really good on Portugal? That not only Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you think maybe Joao Felix, Joao Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes? There are a number of good players here. Now, they might not be very good, of course, they're not as good as Cristiano Ronaldo, but they're still decently good and play really good on their teams. In fact, there are two players who are on the same team, FC Barcelona, who I think could be very good. But I'm going to ask Philson here. Who do you think might be a new star player if Cristiano Ronaldo retired or was subbed out in a game or was injured and wasn't able to play in the game or was suspended for a yellow or red card? What do you think?
I think it's probably Joao Felix.
Wow, Joao Felix, the forward, substitute for Ronaldo, someone who really would probably have a huge impact if Ronaldo got subbed out. In fact, did in the World Cup Portugal versus Morocco game when Joao Felix had to stay on when Ronaldo, I believe, was suspended. I don't remember much of the reason, but I do know that Ronaldo was not starting in that game. He did get subbed on in the game, but sadly it wasn't enough to keep Portugal alive in the match as Morocco beat Portugal 1-0. It was a very sad time for Portugal to be eliminated from the World Cup, but we had to continue on here. So, Joao Felix, the forward for Barcelona, who has been playing better on Barcelona than on Portugal. I mean, I think everyone has to agree with me here. Barcelona has used Joao Felix so well. In fact, he scored 2 goals in the first Champions League match day for Barcelona against Royal Antwerp. And honestly, to get that good of a start as your first Champions League game on a major team, I think Joao Felix does have some potential. But there's just this main player that I do like who has been around for a lot longer than Joao Felix, because Joao Felix is a pretty young player. I think that Bruno Fernandes, the midfielder from Portugal, on Manchester United. He is a really good player, although I really do wish that he could play much better on Man United, honestly. Man United have been doing so bad, but I'm not trying to talk about Man United. I'm talking about international teams, and Manchester United is not an international team. And now we know that Bruno Fernandes is a really good player, and Philson thinks Joao Felix is good, which I do admit he's really good, but Bruno Fernandes will probably be, in my opinion, might be a little bit better. Of course, there are other good players like the midfielder on Manchester City, Bernardo Silva, or also Ruben Diaz, the defender. Both of these men were actually qualified for the Ballon d'Or this year. And speaking of the Ballon d'Or, we move on to our next country, Argentina. as Lionel Messi has rigged the Ballon d'Or once again and has won his 8th Ballon d'Or. So, other than Lionel Messi, who's clearly not the GOAT, who else do you think is good on Argentina? My pick, in fact, many people would agree, is Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper from Argentina. He won the Yassin Trophy this year, best goalie, for those who don't know. He hasn't played really good for Argentina. Although, since everyone in Argentina has a big con for Messi, it's rigging the Ballon d'Or and everything else. For Emiliano Martinez, he plays horrible for Aston Villa. Honestly, he's really good on Argentina. He has really good chemistry with those who are from his nation, those who speak his language. While on Aston Villa, in the English area of Aston Villa, he does not play as good. He is not that crazy save person who always does super well in his games. He is the person who doesn't do. He's a normal goalkeeper when it comes to Aston Villa. So, Philson, who do you think might be the best player at Argentina, not including Lionel Messi? Even though if you did include Lionel Messi, he still wouldn't be the best player. Anyways,
Martinez, the striker.
The striker, Lautaro Martinez on Inter Milan. Now, he is a really good player. But Philson, elaborate. Why do you think that Martinez, the striker, would be better than Di Maria, Martinez, De Paul, and many other players on Argentina who I wouldn't say better. Martinez is still a really good player. I'm not gonna lie here. But although I don't know if he might be the best player in Argentina, of course not including Lionel Messi. So, elaborate here on what you're trying to tell us about Lautaro Martinez. He's thinking. Change your answer, of course. Di Maria is apparently a future icon, actually. They say he might retire soon. And he is a phenomenal player. Although maybe SL Benfica wasn't the smartest club to go with, he still did play really good. He also did play on Juventus, too. He is like a Portuguese... Sorry. He's Argentinian, but on Ronaldo's path of going to Juventus and playing on a Portuguese team, which is surprising from an Argentinian player who plays the exact same position as Lionel Messi. So, yeah, are you sure that Lautaro Martinez would be the best player on Argentina if Lionel Messi was absent for a game or retired or any other circumstance that could have happened to Lionel Messi?
Actually, no. Maybe Di Maria.
Di Maria? Okay. Now elaborate on that. Why do you think he's better than Martinez?
Because Martinez, he's a striker. He doesn't really pass a lot. But Di Maria, he can shoot and pass.
That's true. Although, the thing is, we don't really know so much about these players. I'm pretty sure Di Maria probably plays right middle or any sort of position. I don't know what he plays, but he definitely doesn't play right wing for Argentina. I think we all know why. So, Di Maria and Martinez probably haven't gotten the spotlight they deserve, because Lionel Messi is always going to be in the spotlight and stealing it from maybe not Martinez the goalie, Emiliano Martinez, but probably stealing it from the rest of the players, mainly the offensive players, because everyone knows that once they pass it to Lionel Messi, a goal is probably going to be scored, even though it shouldn't be. So we all know that it's most likely that we're not seeing the true potential. Of course, though that's one of the reasons why there's also clubs, not only nations, because Di Maria plays for SL Benfica, and as Lautaro Martinez, the striker, plays for Inter Milan. And they play good for those teams. Inter Milan have been doing pretty good. In fact, I'm pretty sure Lautaro Martinez has been playing really good for Inter Milan recently. And Di Maria has also been known as a future icon. And we all know that icons are clearly legends, and that's why Di Maria might go down as a legend if he's one of those future icons. So, now let's talk about the non-GOAT clubs. Most of the clubs that have good players, they don't just have one good player and the rest are decent. They have all decent players. Not all decent, all better than decent, worse than good. And I think these teams could include the France international team, the England international team, and even possibly the Brazil international team. Although they have some really good forwards. I don't know about midfield and defense, but they do have really good forwards and of course 2 really good goalkeepers. So actually, let's talk about the England international team. Harry Kane, Harry Maguire, John Stones, Jack Grealish, Kyle Walker. There's a lot of them. So, we're going to talk about that after one short pause. But our next topic will be the England international team. Of course, other teams that are decent. Because, of course, Harry Kane's not at GOAT level yet. He could be after some retirement of a couple players. It will require a lot of players to retire for Harry Kane to be the GOAT because he's not yet there. He could be towards Real Madrid Ronaldo. Maybe not Real Madrid. Maybe Sporting Portugal or Man United. Actually, probably Sporting Portugal. Ronaldo. He has potential. He's already on a really good team. And he's already been the top scorer for that team, most likely, in my opinion. Nominated for a Ballon d'Or. All he needs is probably to win the Ballon d'Or next year. Although it's pretty hard to do that when your competitors are Lionel Messi, Erling Haaland, Cristiano Ronaldo. Although, of course, the biased FIFA will not let Ronaldo be there. But still, it's not possible that Harry Kane will win the Ballon d'Or soon. That's why he's not at GOAT level. But we will be talking about how England have a good but not good team. And we'll talk about how that is a very weird team up next. So, the England team is really good. First, let's talk about, let's go with defense. There's one main person that stands out when you think of England and defense. We all know who this is, known as the GOAT, although we all know it's sarcastic. But he is a really good player, and no one might be one of the biggest heads in football/soccer history. And this man is Harry Maguire. He is the ultimate center back. He can do almost anything, and we all know he is an important asset to Manchester United. So, do you think that Harry Maguire deserves all of the respect? Although this might be a bit sarcastic, do you think, in being serious, is Harry Maguire a good player or is he bad? And, well, everyone's true about being a little sarcastic. And do keep in mind that for Manchester United, he did score the only goal against Copenhagen in the third match day. Well, they did lose the next day, the next match day. It does not matter because he scored a goal when everyone else couldn't. And he's Harry Maguire. He is him. So, Philson, what do you think about Harry Maguire? Do you think he's good enough, or do you think he's not good and he just shouldn't be that good?
He's pretty good. But he's not that good to, win the Ballon d'Or.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much obvious. He might be nominated one year if he ever scores enough goals, when it's very hard for a defensive player to get nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Of course, this has happened before, but only goalies can be nominated for the Ballon d'Or, but they probably never win. And only forwards, and maybe midfielders too, they can be good. I mean, of course, every forward has played midfielder before. Maybe not every, but most forwards have played central attacking midfielder, or maybe even central midfielder, or if they're a left wing or right wing, they might have played left middle or right middle. But it doesn't really matter. As again, we have to stick to the topic. Harry Maguire, are you all right? He can't get nominated for the Ballon d'Or, probably ever. He might be nominated, but he'll never make it past top 20. I don't think so. So, Harry Maguire. So you're thinking that no, he's not good. It's true about how sarcastic people are. He's really bad. He in general, he's not a good defender. And my take, I hate to say this, I'm a United fan myself. He's not good. He's just not it. He's not him. All right, now, although we're kind of running out of time a little bit, we're gonna move on to midfield. Jack Grealish. Period. He doesn't always play midfield. But that's not what I'm trying to talk about. Because forward, we have a lot to talk about on forwards. So midfield, we're just going to use Jack Grealish, even though he might not be. He's more of a left wing, but still he can play midfield. He definitely has played midfield multiple times. But Jack Grealish, he's really good at skills. He used to play on Aston Villa. He was amazing, and he probably could. He could probably get through many good defenders now. He can easily get to Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos is getting really old now. He could probably get through Achraf Hakimi or Marquinhos. It's possible. It's possible. I don't think I've ever seen a Man City versus PSG. Actually, that probably happened in Champions League. Man City won. I'm pretty sure it did. So, I think that. So, Philson, what's your take on Jack Grealish? Good, bad, skillful? Do you think that it's also possible for him to at least get nominated for the top 10 of a Ballon d'Or? Do you think that's possible for him?
Well, of course I like him because I'm a Man City fan, but it probably is possible for him because even if I wasn't a Man City fan, he's still really good.
That's true. You think that he could? You said that he could get nominated for the top 10 Ballon d'Or. Okay, so that means that Jack Grealish, maybe, let's see, it's 2023 now. Maybe like 2027, 2028, could be at like one of those like top 3 in the Ballon d'Or. Don't you think? Maybe like in like 2020. 2028 maybe 2025. Actually, that's probably not possible 2 years from now. But either way, like you understand what I mean. Like it's possible to get at least top 3. Maybe not winning might not be possible again because we have a lot of rising stars. We got Jude Bellingham, we have Harry Kane, and Vinicius Jr. Yeah, you're right. But do you think that's possible for at least to get close? Maybe like top 10. Well, you already said top 10. Sorry. Do you think that maybe he could get nominated for a Ballon d'Or next year? At least nominated. I don't think he didn't get nominated this year. You think maybe nominated? Maybe. All right. And now let's move on to English forwards. We're going to talk about Rashford, Harry Kane, both 2 good players. Rashford doesn't play as good. Harry Kane, top scorer for Bayern Munich. Probably top scorer in the Bundesliga, honestly. I don't know who's going to be standing in his way. He easily is. And I think that Rashford is definitely 100% not top scorer in the Premier League. That's easily Erling Haaland. 100% not top scorer in Man United. That's probably Rasmus Højlund. So he is just not good. Not good. England team overall, we can say that they're decent. Although we do have some more players to talk about, but they might not be on that level. Like Phil Foden, other players on Man City, and of course other players on other Premier League teams, because a lot of English players in the English Premier League, but I don't think that they stand out much. Phil Foden, we all know him; he's pretty good. Kyle Walker, he also probably is really good. He is one of the best defenders on Manchester City, and as Manchester City does have a lot of English players, you'll come across that if you ever look at their squad. Of course, it's because it's a Premier League team. They gotta have a lot of English players who want to play for their country. Want to play for their nation, then they fight other teams in their nation. It's like just fighting in the MLS if you live in playing in the MLS if you live in USA, and it'll be something in the Premier League or any other country. You most likely will want to play on a league that is for your nation. All right, so now let's talk about France. So good, amazing forwards. Let's talk about that right now. I'm just going to give a summary already. I think a summary for France is good. You got to admit that. They qualified for the World Cup final. They're really good. And Kylian Mbappe, Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema is a little bit washed, but he's still good. Olivier Giroud, he is amazing. I'm pretty sure he did really good against the AC Milan game recently. And, of course, he honestly should. I'm pretty sure he didn't get qualified for Ballon d'Or this year. Which is crazy. Olivier Giroud definitely deserves it. Especially on his play in the World Cup last year. Because, in the Ballon d'Or, the World Cup means everything. Clearly, because Lionel Messi won over Erling Haaland. So, honestly, I think that it's definitely everyone on France deserves a nomination for the Ballon d'Or. And not in the same year, of course, but at least one time in their career, everyone does. Okay, actually, no, I'll take that back. Because there are reserves and subs, of course. So we're not going to give any reserves or subs Ballon d'Or. I don't think any reserve have ever won the Ballon d'Or. But I just don't. I think it's possible for almost everyone. So every forward starting, every midfielder, almost every midfielder, and almost every defender. All right, now let's go to Brazil. Really good, skill movement. So I think that, everyone knows that they're always such good skill players. Vinicius Jr., really good at megging. Also, definitely top scorer for Real Madrid. Before Jude Bellingham. But honestly, it is crazy how Vinicius Jr., although he has kind of gotten a little bit less popular, because Real Madrid, we all know about the crazy transfer of Jude Bellingham, that he's played a lot better than he ever did on Borussia Dortmund. And Jude Bellingham deserves a little bit more higher placement in the Ballon d'Or. Of course, England didn't do so good. I did forget to include Jude Bellingham in midfield. Sorry for that. But although we're running out of time, so we can't recover that. But honestly, Vinicius Jr., back to Vinicius Jr., he is really good. he is deserving. He did get a Ballon d'Or. He did nominate for the Ballon d'Or this year, but he probably does deserve an actual Ballon d'Or. Now, other players we've been holding back, thinking about they could win a Ballon d'Or, but Vinicius Jr., there's no holding back here. He deserves a Ballon d'Or, honestly. For what he's done for Brazil, he's been playing really good. And speaking of Brazil, we're gonna get back to our Brazil topic. Neymar Jr. He kind of left Europe a little too early. I would like it if he went to maybe either back to Barcelona, maybe a team in the Serie A, honestly. I think that'd be a good movement for Neymar Jr. Maybe like AC, maybe Inter Milan would have been a good one. And I think in Inter Milan, he would be pretty good as a nice left wing. And it's an easy league. Well, yeah, it's hard to tell. So, Philson, we're going to get back to you. We haven't really talked with you for much. So, what do you think? Who else do you think might be good for Brazil?
Their defender, Thiago Silva.
Okay, Thiago Silva, very, very good defender. I honestly think there are other players, of course, Rafinha, Richarlison, and there are two goalkeepers who are overrated. I have to say it, guys. I had to admit it. Ederson, Alisson, overrated. Maybe not Alisson, but Ederson. Ederson's overrated. He's good. I'm not saying he's bad. But everyone thinks he's the best goalkeeper. He's not the best goalkeeper. Like honestly, it has to be like Ter Stegen or Neuer. Germany has the best goalkeepers. And now we're actually going to move on to Germany. Because they honestly, wow. These goalkeepers are insane. Ter Stegen, Manuel Neuer, both play on Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Ter Stegen has been doing really good, honestly. Also, he's been doing good not only with playing goalkeeper, but honestly with his looks. Honestly, if you looked at his old FIFA card, he looked ugly, but now he has the nice curly hair. But we're going to get back to soccer, not his looks. So, I think that Ter Stegen, he has had a bit of a struggle in Barcelona. He played good on the game against, Shakhtar Donetsk in Champions League recently. He played good. He did let up a goal. But other than that, the Barcelona defense struggled, and Ter Stegen carried. Honestly, he might have let up a goal, but I don't think that matters as much. And then Manuel Neuer, he did get injured, but he's back. He's so good, 90 overall. He deserves it. He is possibly. I love Ter Stegen. Possibly the best goalkeeper, of course, because Ter Stegen plays on Barcelona, my favorite team. All right, and now we're gonna move on to eliminated teams. Norway, Holland, Odegaard, they deserved it. Switzerland probably didn't deserve to be in it. There's many countries that didn't deserve to be in the World Cup, yet they were, and I think Norway could have replaced some of those teams. Maybe like Japan, something like that. Something that would have changed a bit of the outcomes. Like to let Germany qualify into the elimination round. Round of 16. So, Norway definitely deserved to be in the World Cup and to have a good role in the World Cup, meaning, to change outcomes, that would honestly change the history of the World Cup. Messi probably wouldn't have won I think it's possible. It's possible. Messi might have not been able to win the World Cup because if some teams were replaced by Norway, some teams would win, some teams would lose in certain groups. Some teams wouldn't make it past certain groups if you replaced one of the teams maybe in Argentina's group, which I believe was Group C. It was Group C. So there's a chance for Messi not winning the World Cup and not winning the Ballon d'Or this year. It's a lot of outcomes that could have changed if Norway was in the World Cup. That's why I wish it happened. Also, there are some teams that still were in the World Cup. Belgium, one good forward. Actually, maybe two good forwards if you count Doku as a good forward. He's not that good, but some people might think of him as good. Of course, I'm referring to Romelu Lukaku. And, of course, the midfielder, everyone knows De Bruyne. I don't know if he deserved fourth place in the Ballon d'Or this year. He's much lower. Much lower. He was injured at the start of the season. He got injured in the Burnley match, was at the start of the Premier League this new season. It's basically a new season. But although, of course, winning the Champions League is really good. Although, if they're going to have De Bruyne, yet he was injured at the start of the Premier League, yet he won the Champions League and did good in the World Cup, he got fourth. While Messi did good in the World Cup and horrible in everything else, at least in my opinion. He did win the League One, though, I guess, with Mbappe and Neymar, which was still pretty good. But I think Holland should have deserved the Ballon d'Or. But we're going to get back to Belgium, good team. In the World Cup, that was good. Now let's talk about another team I like, Croatia. They only have a good midfielder, but they do have a decent defender. Perisic. Well, they have other good defenders, of course. They have other good players, but like they can't. Like Modric shouldn't have won the 2018 Ballon d'Or. Honestly, he's not at that level. Ronaldo should have won it. That would have been great to have like a 7-6. Actually, no. At that time, Ronaldo would have had more Ballon d'Ors than Messi because, of course, 2019 and 2021 didn't happen. So. But let's get back to international. So, honestly, yeah, Messi did not deserve the Ballon d'Or. Modric did not deserve the Ballon d'Or. Sorry, I'm like losing my mind right now. So, that's going to about wrap it up today, talking about the international teams. So, that's our take, me and Philson's take on the international teams in the World Cup, not qualifying for the World Cup, and who were decent. So that is going to be our take, and we'll see you guys next time in episode 3. We'll be talking about a different topic to be determined. Goodbye.